how is it going? It is your boy Joe here. We're going to be going over round 15, the last of the bye rounds. Finally, the byes are over. We can now rock a full primo team. We can finally have a full best 22 lineup. No more of this. Oh, you can't get this player because of the bye. You can't get this. You can't do that. It's over. It is finally over. We're on to onwards and upwards, onto greener pastures. And I'm wearing a bit of green today to represent that greener pasture. Thank you guys for coming on. Looking forward to spending the next little bit with you guys. How's it going? Sean, thanks for coming on, mate. And Jono, you have absolutely flooded this comment section already. Good on you. From 7:05 you started. Very keen. I love it. What you do, oh mate, it really means a lot, man. It really means a lot, Jono. It's we look to try to help as much as we can and try to be, trying to give some information whilst also being a little bit entertaining here and there. Hopefully our three teams can be up the top for quite some time. Shaz, how's it going? Traded Ashcroft for short, mate. To still have held Ashcroft for this long, well done. That is a testament. He's made a lot of money and he scored fairly decently for you. Anthony, how's it going, mate? How's it going? Thanks for coming on. All right, I'll have a read of you're not ready for these trades. Oh, mate, bring it on. I'm ready for just about anything. I'm really keen to see what you guys have unfurled. But we'll go through Jono's because Jono has gone bang. Very happy with the buy round. Started at rank 62.95. And now you're at rank 47.21. So that's really good. So that means that if I do the quick maths, means you rose about 1,500 spots. Well done. That is very good. You're able to climb up 1,500. The team is complete with the option of 5 for Himmelberg on field. I think Himmelberg is probably safer on field than 5. I'm not the biggest fan of Nat 5, to be completely honest with you. His side is Dacos, Dawson, Sinclair, Lloyd Day, and Shazel. Very nice. Midfield is Bontempelli, Tracker, Laird, Merritt, Neil, Anderson, Green, and Steele. English and Marshall, Dunkley, Taranto, Rosie, Gould, and Decamp, and 5 for Himmelberg. Very nice. Anya, Jono, very, very nice. Unsure who I should play on field this week out of Himmelberg and Fife, as I can't loop. Well, let's open up the fixture for this week and let's have a look and see. So we've got Fremantle are playing the Dogs at Marvel. It'll be a tough game compared to Himmelberg, who's playing Melbourne at TIO. So, look, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Himmelberg gets a lot of supply, but TIO, is that the one in the Northern Territory? If so, then yeah, Alice Springs. So I wonder what the conditions are like at TIO. If it's dewy and slippery, then I wouldn't go with Himmelberg. But if the conditions are fine, then I'd probably go with Himmelberg over Fife, to be honest. Causa, how's it going, mate? I'm so annoyed at the moment. Moved Shazel into my defense for cover in round 14, but can't get my full premium team as can't move Shazel down and can't get Sard on field. You can't get your full premium team because Shazel's in defense and now Sard's sitting on the bench. Oh no, Causa, that's rough. You may have to trade. You may have to do a trade of some sort. That's rough, man. Anthony, Ashcroft, Humph, and MJ to English, Butters, and Libber. Wow. Look at this. You've gone 3 rookies out, and you're getting 3 top dogs. 3 top dogs. 2 of them actually play for the Dogs. Oh, wow. That's amazing, Anthony. Great stuff. You must have a lot of money in the bank. That was wonderful. Roddy, how's it going, mate? Like you, a Bombers supporter. However, I think it is Freo or us who will make the finals. Yeah, well, if you look at Fox Footy, the Fox Footy Facebook page actually had their predicted ladder at the end of the year, and they had us making it. So hopefully that means we get in, and they would have us playing St Kilda. So they have us finishing 7th. They've got Geelong finishing 8th. So I'm not sure how realistic and accurate that is. Globes, how's it going, my man? Doing really well. Went from 16,999 to 8963. That's what we were saying. It's what Big J and I were saying for the longest of times. You've got to plan in advance for that round 15 bye, because you know that there are a lot of people who are going to struggle to field 18 people, and that's exactly what happened. A lot of people didn't, and those that did, me included, had to field guys like Marich and Humphrey and things like that. So, well done, Corey. Great job climbing the ranks. Jen, how's it going? Thanks for coming on. 320 in the Arvo. So in that case, I'd probably go Harry Himmelberg, Jono. Shouldn't be Dewey in those conditions. So I reckon you go with Thor. It looks a bit like Thor. Hippo, how's it going, mate? Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I know, right? He must have had a crap ton. 800,000 banked. 800,000. Look, it's come in clutch now, Anthony. That those 3 rookie trades into 3 Uber Primos is very nice. Global, thinking about using my last trade to go for Primo. Who would you have instead on field, Global? I think going down to 0 trades is really risky at this point. There's still a lot of football still to come. We're only entering round 16, and it's a 24-round season, so I wouldn't go down to 0 just yet, Globes. I'd hold, depending on who that last one. Jeez, how's it going, man? One trade left, full Primo, though. Just hoping like hell the Supercoach. Yeah, I know. Look, I've got 2 trades left with a full Primo team. A lot of people are in very similar circumstances. Don't you worry, jeez. We're all praying together that I'm more worried about the suspensions than the injuries at this point, because you get a suspension, everybody gets a suspension. So I'm worried about the suspensions. Please, boys, be on your best behavior. Because, yeah, I think I have to trade Marshall to Mullen this week and Humphrey to a mid and get my last premium next week. Look, I've got my last premium in this week, being Petrarca. So, yeah, I'm just spoiling it here for the people watching, as I'm going to be discussing in my team review video, which should be up very soon. I've traded out Gorn. I'm gonna rock with Briggs at R2. I trust this man with my life. I'm going to trade out Gorn to get in Cristiano Petrarca. Only 3 concerns in my team: Walsh, Yo, and Sheasel, and to worry about, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, from what Big J and Causa and a bunch of the North people have been talking about, they've been saying that they've been hearing reports that Aaron Hall is basically done and that he's very unlikely to get back onto the park again. And some conflicting news in terms of, is he going to retire before the end of the year or retire at the end of the year? But regardless, it seems to be consistent that that Aaron Hall is done. So hopefully that should mean that Sheasel keeps his spot at halfback, which is where we want to see him. Walsh, I think Walsh will come good, man. Walsh is a gun. You can ask Kippo. I mean, Walsh is a superstar, one of the best players in the comp. He runs all day. He is bionic, man. He will come good. Yo, yeah, look, Yo is certainly capable of playing and scoring well, which is why he was on everybody's radar at the start of the year. The problem is his body lets him down. I hope you have cover for Yo, Anthony. Global moved up 20k spots over the buys. Well done, mate. That's the sort of stuff we want to hear. Love to hear that. Love it. Around 15k last week with Jeremy Cameron. That hurts, man. Jeremy Cameron, he playing at home, great run to come. I completely understand why you'd go for Jeremy Cameron. The guy's a superstar. That's rough. That is so rough. Humphrey and Johnson looping at M8. Yeah, that's look. Humphrey would have been a lot safer, but he's had a role change these last couple of weeks. He's been playing a lot more forward, and especially on the weekend, he was playing a lot of forward. I'd almost trust Johnson at this point over Humphrey, but being able to having the ability to loop is fine. Jen, glad I have Wardlaw as my bench cover for Oliver. You have had to hold Oliver for the longest of time, Jen. Oh my God. Like, I tip my hat to you. But you have to imagine what you could have achieved if you traded out Oliver all those weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like, rather than having that money sitting on the bench doing nothing for you, not going up, not going down, just sitting there doing nothing. Imagine if you traded Oliver out that week. You could have done a lot of things, I think. Joe, who is a primo you're sad that you have missed out on this year? And who is the primo you have that you least trust for the remainder of the year? Great question, Cheese. The primo that I least trust, I'll say, I'm not sure if Will Day will continue to be able to, like, I'm not going to expect another 140 from Will Day. I think Will Day had a bit of a role change due to Sicily being out, had him playing more half back. If he's able to maintain that role, that would be sensational, but I just don't think he will. So Will Day is someone that I have a lot of question marks over. Obviously, Kieran Briggs. Mate, I love this man more than the next Joe. Honestly, I love Kieran Briggs. He's been so good. But, he's never done it before. So there's question marks over whether or not he can continue to sustain that. So that's a question mark over him as well. But all the other guys, I'm pretty confident in. The one primo that I'm sad that I missed out on, I'd have to say English, I think. I think English is that ruckman that if I had started him over, Witts, for example. So I started Witts hoping that he would be the safest, most consistent option, number one ruck. And then things just sort of fell apart. Had to trade him out because he was a late out, and English was already playing at that point. So I had to trade Witts to Grundy to trade him out then to get Gawn. And now I've traded out Gawn to get Petrarca. So the ruck line has been just one merry-go-round. If I had just started English and just rocked with English and Marshall, things would have been so much easier. English is clearly R1 for the year. I'd probably say English is the one that I'm most bummed out about. But great question, Chase. I really like that. Thought-provoking. And asking about me as well, as opposed to asking about yourselves, which is definitely a change of pace. Causa. Was looking at Luke Parker and Himmelberg this week, but can't do it as have 7 defender premiums, and you've traded Chincotta to Marriage, and you've lost your defensive mid-swing. Yeah. We'll have to have a look at your team, Causa, and see what we can do for you. Anthony, I'm hoping Yo lasts till round 18, then we get Yo and Chincotta to Sicily. To round 19, Look, we're now round 16, so you're hoping he plays for another 3 more weeks. Look, it's possible. It's possible. I'm fingers crossed for you, bro. Fingers crossed that Yo can last that long. That's why I'm moving on Humphrey to Walsh this week. Yep. That's nice. That's good. I like it. Harry, how's it going, mate? G'day. Not sure which way to go. All right. You've come to hopefully the right place. I need an R2 as I have Decam there at the moment with Marshall R1. Would you trade Humphrey to English or go Humphrey to Butters and leave Decam at R2? Okay. Humphrey to English or Humphrey to Butters? I reckon English is a safer pick, just in terms of the scoring. Just purely on scoring, I think English may be better. Let's have a look and see. Let's compare. Because having a number one ruckman is so handy. They can score from a number of different options. They can score from hit outs to advantage, from being big, they can take more marks. English is a great runner of the ball, so he can go and he can go forward, kick goals. Bigger athletic men tend to be able to do more. Let's say you look at what is averaged for the season. English has averaged 124 for the season. Butters averaged. Butters has averaged 110. So if you're able to get, honestly, if you're given an option between a mid or a ruck, I personally prefer the ruck, especially because having a guy like English at R1 and Marshall at R2 will net you more points, I think, because Darcy Cameron should be in the forward line. I reckon having that ability to have him not only be a great forward for you, but also serve as extra cover in the event that one of your ruckmen go down with a one weaker, for example, then you can swing Darcy Cameron into the rucks. If you got a guy like Madden sitting at R3, I really think Darcy Cameron should be in your forward line. I don't think he's capable. I don't think he's going to be matching English or even Briggs really in the ruck line. I think Darcy Cameron's definitely better as a forward for you. You'd be losing out on more points if you have him in the ruck line, I think, Harry. But thanks for the question, Anthony. When do we start getting to pod captains? Mainly later in the season, to be honest. So, I mean, pod captains was always a thing. Was always a play, Anthony. You could have gone pod captain right from the start. Just backed yourself, backed your gut. Then you've done your research and seeing what could possibly be good to enable you to jump ahead of the pack. Especially if you're looking to climb ranks. If you don't climb, if you're going to be the same as everyone else, then it's very likely that you're going to end up not climbing as much, right? If you're going the same as everyone else. Those who went golden last week, no, not the majority. You know what I mean? The majority went with a Laird or a Dunkley. You know what I mean? Whereas if you go ahead and you try and go something a bit differently, going a bit potty with what's his face, with Golden, then look at that. You got a 164 as opposed to a 122 or a 125. That's a lot of points. And if you do that every single week, then you are climbing ranks. And if my grandma's team does that every week, then she could be the top 100 or the top 10 by the end of the year. Touk Miller, surely an option when he comes back. Not sure how long he's out for, but really won for Gold Coast's last few games. From what they were saying about Touk Miller, I think he's looking to be in the next 2-3 weeks. I think he's going to be in Cheese. So yeah, he's right around the corner, and that sort of is a bit of a flag for Humphrey, unfortunately, because if he's already starting to lose that mid-time before Touk Miller comes back, then you can only imagine that he's going to have next to no midfield time when Touk comes back. So, Touk Miller's really close. He's a real good budget option, as is Callum Mills, who is going to continue to drop in price. I mean, Millsy now is now at 430k with a break-even of 167. So that's another person who really could be bellissimo for that price. Globes, talk to me about some changes that the boys at the top could change to help us out with this sub rule. Could they give us some sort of sub? The boys at the top to help us out with the sub rule. I think they're going to keep the sub rule as it is. I'm not sure what sort of changes they're going to be, what sort of changes you've been hearing, Globes, but I'm not sure. I think I'm hoping that they can give us some more consistency in terms of when they announce the sub, hopefully a bit earlier, but in terms of the sub rule, that's I think that's here to stay. I think the coaches, when Brad Scott was talking about it in one of the interviews, he said that there were a couple of options presented to the clubs, and the clubs were given an option of either name a full 23 people or have them plus you can name the sub later. They picked the latter. So I can understand that coaches want to keep the flexibility up until the last day, can take into account how players are training and how they come up, as well as the conditions, if it suits on the day to play someone big. And you're seeing a guy like Brad Scott every single week. He's now doing a late change. It's become normal. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are no changes, Globes, unfortunately. You are very welcome, Harry. Jen, already done one trade sharp to wines. Very nice. Very, very nice. You've got 3 trades left and 14K in the bank after the trade. You've just got 1 spot left, and then you are full primo. So you've got 1 spot with 3 trades. You can certainly be done. You might be left with only 1 trade for the year. It might have to be someone budget, Jen, if you want to save yourself with 2 trades. I think 2 trades is probably the least number of trades that if you can get minimum of 2 trades left, then I think that's good. I think only 1 trade is cutting it really close. Now, I know my Grandma's team only has 1 trade left, and that's probably way too small, way too little. But having 2 trades, I think minimum will be great. Very tough for you to do so with only 14K in the bank. Would have to depend on what other rookies you've got. If you've got a guy like Humphrey, hopefully you can get someone fairly cheap, but you may have to 1 up, 1 down, Jen, to get someone. If you don't have Will Day, here's someone that's fairly budget. Callum Mills is really budget. And if you're happy to hold on just for a little bit until Tuke Miller comes back, you can also do that. Chase got Millsy against West Coast to move 5 to the bench. Probably could have waited, but I'm the king of going early on people. It also gave me over 2,200 last week. Woo! Well done, you. Over 2,200. Jeez. Killing it, mate. Super Birds, welcome. How's it going, mate? How do you feel about Mills? Is he going to get the role back? Appreciate the content. Thanks for coming on, mate. Someone needs to get on to... Someone needs to call up Horst Longmire. Oi, put your boy back in the guts. Is he going to get the role back, mate? It is crystal ball stuff. Let's just open up DFS Australia and see how much time he had on the ball before he got subbed. So let's go to CBAs for Sydney. In fact, let me just share the screen as opposed to talking to you. Share the screen. All right, so Callum Mills last week when he came in, he only had 24% CBAs, which is sort of, obviously they're either easing him back in to the game. He's been out for quite a few weeks, as you can see. So I can understand them subbing him out, not giving him too many CBAs. Parker is still their number 1 in terms of getting the ball in there. Hickey's the ruckman. Rowbottom's an interesting one. I'm surprised that he's had so much CBAs the last 3 weeks. Sheldrick, mate. Look at that. 46% for Sheldrick. That is really impressive. But I can't imagine Sheldrick getting like double the CBAs that Mills is going to get. Surely in the push for finals, I know they're fairly low on the ladder. When you look at the ladder, where are the Swans? I mean, they're not too low now after that percentage boosting win. They're only 1 game out of the 8. You're gonna think that Horse is gonna try his absolute best to get his boys up. And there's no doubt that Callum Mills' best position is on the ball. So you can only hope. You can only hope that he gets that roll back. But for that price, I mean, it's hard to go wrong. And he's going to drop even more with a 167 still break even. If he scores a 75, he loses 42K. I don't think he's going to score 75. But, he's still got a lot of money left. He could very well be sub 400K. And that is something that I think you can certainly risk. A guy of this caliber, you look at what his scoring was like just last year, not going very far. Literally just last year. And this guy, look at his scoring. He had 130, 117. He had a 214, 139. Yeah, okay, 167, 102, a couple of bad games and a couple of really good games, a decent game. So he's certainly capable. If he gets the sub 400K, I think you can't not get Callum Mills, I reckon. Globes, who is your first pick next year? One for each line. All right, one for each line. I'm going to probably go Dacos, first picked in the back line, or Sicily. First picked in the midfield will probably be Dunkley. First picked in the ruck will probably be English or Kieran Briggs. It will be Briggsy. I'll go Kieran Briggs. And first picked in the forward line, Taranto won't be there. Rosie might not be there. Jeez. Who's going to have forward status? Magic, who's going to have forward status next year, mate? We got no one good. Bro.
Maybe Butters? Maybe? Butters? Maybe?
Butters? Is Butters going to have
the only one I can think of that hasn't he played a little bit forward? I don't know.
A little bit.
Joe.
How's it going, mate? Thanks for coming on.
It's going good. It's going good. It's good to see you, and it's good to see all the viewers as well. Excited to be on.
Oh, mate. Oh, we love having you on, as do all the fans. Can you answer Globe's question? Who's your first pick next year for each of the lines?
Well, defense, I think Dacos. Definitely Dacos. Not even questioning putting him in my team next year. I should have put him in my team this year. But,
I know, right?
Midfield. I don't know. Midfield's hard. Midfield's actually, there's a few midfielders there's guys like Dunkley and Taranto that I actually really like who are forwards. And then there's Bont, obviously. And then, I mean, in other years, Oliver is one of the guys who's up there, but I'm very upset with Oliver at the moment. And then, so probably one of the, I'll say Bont. I'll just say Bont because I feel like that's the basic answer. But you can't go too wrong with Bont. Ruck, I'd say English. If he's had no injury interruptions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And assuming he goes okay for the rest of this year. Mm-hmm. And then forward line, who do we have?
I know. They're all going to be. They're all mids next year. Maybe Darcy Cameron.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could see a world where Darcy Cameron, I don't know, say he averages 105 from here on out.
Yeah.
And he's someone that everyone's picking. Or maybe you pick Cameron in the ruck line next year. People will do that because they can just have him in the forward line later. If he's a ruck forward, something like that.
If so. Mills played mid and scored 70. He has the role. Yeah, Mills for that price is just too good not to pass up. But Cheese, I'd preface it and say that he played mid against the Eagles, who the Dandenong Stingrays could beat by 60 points, I reckon.
Oh, geez. 200. You know, I almost spat out. I was drinking water. And I pulled out my phone. I hadn't looked at the game since halfway through the first quarter, and almost spat out my water when I saw a 205.
205.
I can't believe it.
31-19, if you don't mind.
Oh my god. I can't believe that. I didn't look after quarter time. I didn't check anything after quarter time, and I figured they'd probably beat them by anywhere from 50 points to 110 points, but oh my god, 200.
Well, they were competitive in the second quarter. They kicked 3 goals 1 to 5 goals 5, so that's not too bad. And then
that second half though,
11 goals to none.
Oh my god.
And then another 6 to 1. So that's 17 goals to 1 goal in the second half.
Oh, far out. That's so bad. That's like Geelong. That reminds me of when Geelong beat Melbourne by 180 points, I think.
Yeah, correct. So
yeah, I think it was
Eagles,
230. 230 that was, I think.
Yeah, so there's hope for the Eagles to turn it around. If Melbourne can turn it around, they can turn it around.
Took Melbourne about 6 years though to turn it around, or 7 years, 7 years. I don't know to really turn it around. So I don't know. But West Coast have had a lot of injuries though. I don't think Melbourne had that many injuries at the time. They were just bad. So, yeah. I do feel for West Coast. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Anthony, I'm making sure to save one trade for Tex round 24. I hope it's against West Coast. Beat the Tex in the Coleman.
Oh my god! I think everyone that has a trade left in the last round and would actually consider that. I actually think
playing West Coast in the last round.
If they're playing West Coast,
they are.
Oh my god, he's going to be going for the Coleman. They're going to be aiming for him all game. He's going to kick 12 goals.
That's insane. Horse wants him in the mid. Yeah. I agree. I think Millsy will be fine. Ramagar, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, bruv. Super Cheeser, not sure whether to go this week or wait. I'd wait on Mills while he's still got the super high break even. It also depends though if he's a on-field option for your super birds, or if he's gonna be cover for you. If he's cover, then there's absolutely no rush to get him in this week. But if it's for on-field, you reckon wait a week on Mills with his super high break even? I mean, he's got Melbourne this week, so he should be playing in the guts, I reckon, at home against Melbourne.
If you can get him this week, and there's no reason, and if I think we're at the stage where for some people the money doesn't matter much if you can just get them for the last upgrade. So it depends on that. But if you have to wait, like for me, there's maybe a chance I could get Mills for Johnson, maybe, because I got about 60 Johnson and about 60k. I don't know, maybe there's some kind of chance I could do that and have Mills as cover. But it's kind of, so if you need to wait, then you need to wait. But I think I wouldn't wait if you don't need to. Just do it. I think unless you need that money for something.
I was on around 24. Whoops. Who does Sydney actually play? Oh, Sydney actually played Geelong at the SCG. It's the same, but different. He will still be good against Geelong, I reckon. Goulden surely still forward status next year. Well, Goulden's been playing a lot on the wing though, hasn't he?
Every year we get new forwards. Every year it's like a whole new batch of forwards.
How much?
Oh, far out. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about the forward line next year. We're not going to have it like this every year. We've been blessed this year.
Yeah, no more Dunkley, no Taranto.
Rosie.
No Rosie. Your half forward flank. Yeah, all right. We might still have Goulden next year if he's playing half forward flank. That's not too bad.
Yeah, the only reason why I said Butters is because I was talking about it maybe a week ago with a few people in the Fantasy Tape TV Discord server.
Yeah.
And that was the only one people thought maybe had a chance, but so that's the only reason. I don't know. I think his CBAs are around 50% every game or something. So I don't know. Be good to check that actually.
Look,
so maybe depends what he's doing when he's not the CBAs. Is he in the forward line or?
Oh, he's getting a lot of.
It's too much. Nah, it's too much.
He's getting more than 50.
Oh, it's too much. Nah, don't forget about it. I thought it was about 50 maybe.
Every week he's getting more than 50.
Who are we getting next year?
Connor Rosie, Butters, 56%. 56%.
It's too high.
Yeah.
It's too high.
No Butters. No Rosie either, 71%.
Oh my god.
We're not going to have anyone forward next year.
Darcy Cameron's going to be. Darcy Cameron actually might be in a lot of people's teams next year. I don't know. We'll see.
Errol Goulden, 32% CBAs for Goulden.
But he's at the wing. He's on the wing though. That's the thing.
I know.
So it's like, he's not going to get. Goulden's going to be mid only as well. I think. They're all going to be mid only. It
it will make selecting your midfielders next year all the more interesting because you can't be chucking all these mids in the forward line now all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like you have to really be very picky about your mids next year.
I mean, we've got like Dunkley. This year, people got Dunkley and Taranto in their forward line, but next year that's like 2 of the top 8 potentially. Suddenly, there pushes everyone else out, and it's like, maybe it makes it easier in a way because it's like, he's definitely going to be top 8. Yeah, he's probably going to be top 8, but I don't know. It's definitely picking the right primos is always what gets you. It's how you start fast. I think one of the best ways.
Yeah, for sure.
I suck at it. I never get it quite right every year. I think if you get the cash gen right by this stage, you're usually looking pretty good. But but then you're too far behind. You need to do both if you want to be right up there. You need a bit of both.
Yeah, for sure. Jen is thinking of holding her trades and waits till Tuke comes back. Yeah, you can. Depends who you're fielding at that last spot compared to everyone else is fielding a primo. If you're in a situation where you're looping between 2 rookies like a Humphrey and a Johnson, who knows if Tuke comes back in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I mean, look at Clary. He was meant to be out for like a couple of weeks. You know?
I traded him back in, as a disaster. I traded him back in his buy.
Yeah.
Because I thought he's back for sure. I thought like I did it to loop Briggs' score on. Because it didn't really affect my score that week. And I thought, Clary's back next week. And I never thought in a million years he'd be out. The guy's barely missed a game for years. The way they talked about it when he got injured, they were talking almost like I thought for sure he'd be back King's birthday, and then it was that setback. And then before then, they were talking about it like he could almost play the game before King's birthday at one point earlier on. I was thinking that's a bit crazy to risk him like that. And then even King's birthday, I think they were saying he started training. He went back to he resumed training on the Saturday before.
Yeah.
So I thought the Saturday before he's back in training, the whole bye week, and then I thought he'd be definitely back by now, and then he's still not back. So
still not back.
There's a few nasty rumors out there. There's a few rumors out there. It's like, I don't know what to do with him. I almost want to trade him again, but I don't have any. I only have 2 trades left. It's rough. Just so rough. I got Johnson though, so maybe.
Yeah, that's good.
I think I just have to hold him and just cover with Johnson and hope he's only misses 1 more week.
Yeah, Causa reckons McRae. Yeah, Causa reckons McRae and Gawn could potentially have forward status next year.
McRae, I think McRae
and Gawn. Yeah, so
that's a good.
Good shout, Causa. Let's have a look at McRae. 37% CBAs. That's still a bit too high.
It's a bit high. I think that's close though. I think he could do it. He got forward this year, so
yeah, correct.
I think McRae is maybe the best. Jeez, was McRae going to be everyone's team again next year?
Seems like it. Gawn 47% CBAs.
I don't think Gawn's. I don't know about Gawn.
Yeah,
obviously it could happen. He only needs 1 game where I don't know. That's right. He's up forward a lot.
It was really close. Anthony's asking if Walsh is a chance. Walsh, 49% CBAs on average. So probably still too high. He's got a lot of high. He's got 40s, 50s. Yeah, I don't think Walsh is going to get forward status, man.
Jeez.
Hydra, a bit of a different type of question. Oh, interesting, Stuart. Can you use 1 trade to flip a player's position, or do you need 2 trades? Move from defense to forward without a defensive forward player on the lines.
Hmm?
So is this meant to be the loophole sort of thing in terms of the ability to trade
Yeah, I think so.
someone out and then bring them back in again by reversing the trade? Do you need one trade or two trades?
I think
I
you
think you
should
need
be able
two.
to do it with one. If it's
Yes.
just like switching people's lines, you're just doing a trade to switch people's lines and you're undoing it, and then it keeps the lines. Because I've been doing that all year to like loop rookie scores on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like if you have Briggs, for instance, anyone that's in a position to have Briggs as a 23rd player, yeah, he could cover every line in that way. For me at least, if I got him, that's what I'd try to do with him. Because you can move like guys like Chincotta and Constable, Drury, Roberts. These dead bench rookies. You can switch your lines around and use them to cover every line in a way. So yeah, Constable, man. I so close to trading him, I nearly traded him in like round 4, and then Big J was like, "Nah, he'll come back. Look at his numbers in the reserves." And I was like, "He might come back." And then if he comes back, then you're in trouble.
He ain't coming back. He's getting delisted, I reckon.
I would have been to Michelini as well if I did do it. Although not at 120k though. It would have been, I think, 180. He was like 180, 187, I think.
Yeah.
So, but that still would have been pretty. I'd take that.
Oh, for sure.
Would have been okay.
As opposed to the dead rook on the bench.
Jeez.
Look, at least Jonas is saying it right. How's it going, Jonas? Bro, you've held on to Oliver. You got Oliver back. You're going to be one of the few people who are going to have him. No one's going to have out Clary in the back half of the year.
Oh, man. That's true. Imagine captaining him in one of the last rounds when no one has him and he goes like 170 or something. It's just like a huge... Yeah, for leagues, if you play leagues, just keep him at this, just keep him. I think, like, unless you're really struggling to make finals in your leagues, yeah, for me, I just keep him. You want to have the best team you can at the end, and surely he's back eventually. But for rank though, I don't know. I traded him back in, and I'm like, I want him out now. I hate this. I only have 2 trades left though, so it's like I go down the 1 trade. So I don't know, but it's just Zach Butters with his 140 projected just sitting there in front of me.
Bro, Clary Pod. Are you kidding me? Come on, that's worth it. You can survive these 2 weeks.
I think I just got to hold and use Johnson to cover.
Correct.
Speaking of,
just believe.
I didn't listen to you. You were telling. I remember we were talking. I was saying Sarong and Humphrey or Johnson and Petrarca, and you were like, "Oh, Humphrey," and I was sort of like, "Oh, Humphrey is better than Johnson." The cover. And then this week, I ended up going Petrarca. I just said, "Oh, screw it. I want Petrarca." I don't care. I can't watch him get score assistant in the. Just seeing everyone go crazy, going Petrarca SA.
Yeah, no, I've got Petrarca this week. So, I can't keep avoiding Petrarca. You need him. He's too good.
Yeah. How hard? The last I think the last 5 weeks. I think he's got Richmond 5 weeks to go, and then the 3 games after that, he's got Hawthorn, North, and Carlton. I think, which are his 3 huge games.
He's got a ripper run. His run is
3 huge games from this year. He's got them again, the same opponents in the last 4 rounds. So. And then last round, I can't remember who he has, but yeah, Petrarca, man. It's fun. It's just fun to own. I'd rather own Petrarca than Sarong. It's just more fun. So I don't know. Maybe it'll take me a bit. My cover.
No. Sarong unproven. Sarong's unproven. Never done it before.
Yeah.
You're back in Petrarca without Clary. Cheese. First pick for each line. Hearn, Pendlebury, Goldstein, and Hawkins. What year is this? Cheese.
That's like 2015 or something.
Back to the Future.
Oh, actually, no, not even 20. It's like different years, you know. Goldstein is 2015. Hearn
Yeah.
is like, I reckon Hearn is like 2019. Actually, I think he was still good in like 2019. Hawkins,
Pendles, mate.
Pendles is just and Pendles is like, I don't know, 2010 to like, I don't know, 2010 to 2017, something like that. I don't know. Pendle's has been a good pick in the past. It's fair to say.
Yeah, 100%. Causa, if Hawks can beat West Coast by over 100 and were last, what can North do in a few weeks? Look, Hawks beat West Coast over 100, and then we came the following week, and they had a lot of fire in their belly. They had to make amends. You know what I mean? We only won by about 50 odd. So every week is different, Causa. I wouldn't be counting your chickens before they hatch, mate. You never know. They could sack the coach, have a new coach, and you know what happens whenever a club plays with a new coach, right? They suddenly become freaking superstars. So I'd be careful. I'd be careful, mate.
Can I just mention? I don't know if you mentioned it already, but Will Day like become a superstar suddenly?
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Big J trades him out.
I needed that.
Big J trades him out 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden, 109, 141. Let's go.
Well, I don't know. People were saying he's been playing a bit of a Sicily kind of role. That's what I've heard. So, we'll make continue. We might only get 2 weeks of this, but if it's 2 weeks of 140s, I'll be over the moon. So,
100%, 100%. Rodney, 2 Primo short in midfield with Fife and Sheldrick M7, M8. Trade out options: Van Rooyen, Mitchell, Humphrey for 1 Primo and a rookie, or wait for Mills, 6 trades with 1 boost. Rodney, mate, why do you still have a boost, mate? Like, I use my boost back in 1935, before I was born, 60 years before I was born. I used all my boosts. How do you still have a boost, Rodney?
I save here. I just boosted like crazy at the start of the year. I'm just thinking about it.
Look, Van Rooyen. He's still got Van Rooyen as well. How much is Van Rooyen? Let's see. Van.
It's 340 or something.
Yeah, it's like 350k.
Yeah.
So Van Rooyen and Humphrey is an Uber Primo. So that's a 1 down, 1 up for an Uber Primo. You've got Seamus Mitchell and Sheldrick. Sheldrick hasn't gone up in price enough. It's still 250. Who else you got? I can go 1 down, 1 up to get a premium and have only 1 premium left to fill, and you can leave 5 on field. But and you could get a Mill.
2 premiums short, so maybe he just does an upgrade, and for his last one he does Mills. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, if you can 1 down, 1 up to get an Uber Primo, and then trade your second person to get Mills, and then you're finished.
That would be ideal, I reckon. Just 1 down, 1 up, and then just straight trade. If you still have Mitchell, something like that, you might be able to do it. Yeah,
like Van Rooyen and Mitchell can be an Uber Premium, and then Humphrey plus some money, because Humphrey's 395 roughly, and
don't need much. You probably won't need.
And Mills is 430, so you only need like 40k.
Well, Mills' break even still like 100. It's like 167 or something like that. Yeah.
So you could get Mills next week. So you could do the 1 down, 1 up and get Mills next week when he drops a bit more in price. But Humphrey's break even's 120 this week. So, and he's got your guys. He's got Collingwood. So I don't think he's hitting 120. If you can do the trade this week, like Van Rooyen and Mitchell to a premium and Humphrey to Mills, then you're done.
Although I don't think it depends if Humphrey's up forward. He's been up forward more the last 2 weeks, I think.
He has. It sucks.
But if he is in midfield, I think our midfield isn't quite as hard the last couple of weeks. No De Goey. It feels like opposition midfielders are scoring a lot better the last 2 weeks. So, like Laird and Dawson both went really well. So earlier in the year, that we were almost restrictive to opposition. So the last couple of weeks doesn't feel like that. So Humphrey might be. It's just a role for me, Humphrey.
Yeah, the role sucks.
And then when Tuke comes back, it might be permanently like that. So
Correct.
that's actually why I traded him in the end, because I thought I didn't think it'd happen this week, but I thought when Tuke's back, because my idea was to keep him just as cover. I thought when Tuke was back, potentially, then he'd definitely have a screwed up role. So, but yeah, no, I didn't expect. I had a actually weirdly good weekend for Supercoach, because I had I was so down about it as soon as I knew Oliver was out. I was like, oh, I'm doomed for the weekend. And then I managed to still score. I went up in rank and I scored 2010, despite only 16 players. And one of them was Maric. So, so I was like, I don't know. Oh, you know what I mean? It's weird, because my expectations were so low. I thought this is the week where I just tank hard. But somehow I sort of held rank. I slightly went up, even though my last week. Last week was the week where all my big mistakes beat me back. Missing Weddle last week was the week where that bit me. Because actually, it's not Weddle, but I remember about 4 weeks ago I was going, oh no, this is why I'm so bad. I missed Weddle, and then it meant that I ended up trading Seamus Mitchell. If I had Weddle, I would have had Weddle to trade instead that week.
Yes.
And I probably would have had Seamus for this week, and then I would have done like 100 points better. So that's what I'm saying. So, and then the Oliver thing, so I could have got like 2,200 without those two kind of mistakes. So I don't know. It was a fun week. It was actually kind of fun. Everyone went huge. All the pre-rows went huge. So honestly, this weekend was one of those weekends where I was like, I love Supercoach,
Yeah. And then marriage. And then marriage drops to 16. That's rough. Oh, jeez. Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate it, bro. With the $2.99 donation. Superstar, mate. Tipping West Coast against North. Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
West Coast against North.
Causa. He's coming for you, Causa. Jai, thoughts on Butters versus Libba versus Track? Already have Oliver, Laird, Merritt, Bont, Neil, Brayshaw, Green. So you can only have one of Butters, Libba, and Track.
I like Track, but
I like Track too.
I like Track.
Second, I might have Libba second.
I agree, although for me at least, this is worth thinking about with Libba versus Butters. My whole midfield is mid only, so Butters. If you had Butters instead, it might mean it's easier you can use your mid bench to cover your forward bench.
True.
Whereas if you have Libba, you don't. So like I have Johnson. It's my only decent cover. So if I did trade Oliver, then
don't do it.
If I got Butters, then it would mean I can use Johnson to cover the forward line as well, and the ruck because of Darcy Cameron. So. Whereas Libba, it's just Johnson only covers mids then because they're all mid only, the whole midfield. So that's the only thing. That's the thing with Butters. The DPP can be a bit handy. Just if you have anyone out, you can move around and do a few things. But yeah, I think Track, Libba, Butters in that order.
Just in terms of points, that is. McRae will be a forward next year, says Global. Fingers crossed, mate. That would be awesome. If Walsh gets forward status, he'll be competing with McRae for F1. Would be good. Jonas, Ben Keys was fined 1,500 for taking off Cox protection. He needs to be paying child support. He needs to be paying child support, Jonas. He can't be allowed to get away with it.
Cox protection. Oh my god. I can't believe that. Cox protection. The way it's been worded, that is so cheeky,
Yeah,
the wording.
That's exactly why he said it. Jonas, mate, he's a sharp one. He's a sharp one. Anthony Sinclair, 32% CBAs. We might not even get him in defense. Oh, mate, we better. If we don't get Sinclair in defense, then we storm Herald's Sun headquarters and be like, this is a disgrace.
Jeez, imagine that. Imagine if Sinclair gets mid only. It'd be like a meltdown.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Kev, how's it going, Kevin? Can you please rate them in order of importance? Laird, Sarong, Butters, Libba, Brayshaw, Mills for my last upgrade. Thank you. It's got to be Laird number 1, I reckon.
It's got to be Laird. It's got to be Laird.
I'd go Libba over Sarong. I'd go Butters over Sarong. I'd then go... I like Brayshaw. I think Brayshaw has come good. He got a 129 on the weekend, and then I'd go Sarong and then Mills, or maybe Mills and Sarong. I don't know. Probably for money, if you're strapped for cash, then I'd go Mills over Sarong.
It's a huge difference in money. So if that money does something for you, I traded English out, so I'm crazy.
You are so crazy. He's the one primo I wish I had in my side.
I'm the Briggs. I'm the Briggs R1. You know.
R1.
Well, Marshall. He's averaging more than Marshall
true.
Technically. So I don't know. R2.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm the same. I'm the same. Briggs. I traded out Gorn this week. Gorn to get Petrarca.
Oh yeah.
So, do you agree with my ranking of these guys?
I actually agree exactly. Yeah. I actually agree exactly. So definitely Laird first, because I just think Laird's got it in him the most to just go on a run. And I think his fixtures I think Adelaide's fixture is quite good as well. And then Libba,
Adelaide Oval against North, Essendon at Marvel, Giants at home, Melbourne at the G, Port at home, Gold Coast at home, Brisbane away, Sydney at home, and West Coast to end.
I think that's pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like, because teams like Melbourne and Brisbane aren't too bad, I don't think, for like Laird, Supercoach wise. So there's not many games there where I'm like, oh, like it's like the Dogs or something, where I'm like, oh,
correct.
You know, it's actually pretty good. So yeah, I agree with that exact order. But obviously Mills is a lot cheaper than the rest of them. So
for sure,
depending how many trades you have left, that 150k might mean you get a better player for somewhere else. For sure. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that 150k does something for you. So
it could allow you, if you don't have a Himmelberg, you could end up flipping like a Humphrey to a Himmelberg, perhaps. Have an extra primo, have a 23rd premium as cover. That's 150,000. That's a lot of money, you know. So
I know. Well, that's what when I traded English over Briggs. I was originally thinking I'd just get Walsh as my last, someone like Walsh or a cheap midfielder as my last upgrade, and then I was like, nah, I want Petrarca or something like that. So that's what I did. Do I want English? Do I want Petrarca and Briggs, or do I want English and like a Walsh? You know what I mean? So I was like,
nah, Briggsy.
Briggs, I love Briggs. He's so good.
I love Briggs.
He's actually a god. It's like the surprise of the year for me. I didn't expect him to be this good. Like, he's actually genuinely, aside from Supercoach, I've genuinely been actually quite impressed by him. I'm like, watching him like, wow, they found someone here. And I think he's about 24. He's a good age.
Yeah, he is.
You know,
he's pretty. So he's in it for the long run. He is very good. I love him. Just use my boost this week. It's mad well worth with my trades. Yeah, congrats, Anthony. Mate, Anthony did this triple trade where he traded out 3 rookies in Ashcroft, Humphrey, and MJ Johnson to get where did he got there was some ridiculous triple upgrade. I'm actually going to try and see if I can find it. It was like ridiculous. Where is he? Here he is.
I saw
He
some
did
ridiculous
Ashcroft.
sideways
He had
trades.
Ashcroft, Humphrey, and Johnson to English, Butters, and Libber.
Whoa. What? What the? That's crazy. How much money does
I
he?
know.
How much money do you have, Anthony?
He had 800K in the bank, if you don't mind.
Oh my gosh. 800K.
Yeah, he had banked 800K.
I actually know someone, not a serious player though. I know someone who was just saying their strategy was they're very league focused person. They were saying, "Oh, I got $1 million in the bank, and I just got all cash jet the whole team, and they're just upgrading, which is actually a really interesting. I mean, you can't do that for rank because you just tank too many points. Really interesting a strategy for the league. I've never heard of anyone doing that. Just all cash gen, just like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I got $1 million in the bank, they were saying. You just, bam, upgrade.
Throw me the money.
That was a good laugh.
Money. Supercoach with DR has 2 boost lefts and won't be able to use both. Gee, that's... Really? DR still has 2 boosts?
He does. Yeah, no, I've seen that. He does. He's quite conservative. I think if there's one thing I reckon he can work on. Like I reckon that's not quite right with his approach. I think if you have 2 boosts left, it depends. If you're really flying, some people genuinely haven't needed to use their boost, but I don't think DR's been that good situation that he should have 2 boosts left. Personally, I don't know. I'm very aggressive player, so
yeah,
I only have 2 trades left, so.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Jen still got a boost, so there are people out there with boosts. Julian, how's it going, mate? Top 3 players on all lines below 550K. Thanks, Legend. So I guess for this sort of a discussion, we got to share screen, I reckon. Share screen. We've got players. All right. So top 3 players under 550. 550 in defense. You got Luke Ryan. Zeeble, nah. Doherty looks to have Doherty's turned it around. Yeah. So Doherty, I'd say, is 1. Lloyd's pretty good. I'll look at the 3-round average. Ridley.
Supercoach God, I told him to trade in. I was sort of half joking, half serious. Said trade in Ridley this week, and he traded him in this week. So I messaged him at like 4 a.m. like, I told you.
Give him a shout out. Did he shout you out in his video?
I don't know. I haven't watched his video. I haven't watched his video yet, but it's funny. Well, because he was trying to find someone to make sure he had enough to afford Laird this week. So he had to go a bit cheaper. Or he was saying, "Oh, is it worth doing that?" And I said, "Yeah, definitely, because I think you want to have Laird." So and then we're looking at who there was at 520K or that kind of 530 and under kind of price. And I said to him, "Well, Ridley's actually, not too bad. Look at that, 115.7, 3-round average, 119.8, 5-round average.
Round. Yeah.
Unbelievable. This is why I started him."
I know. Me too.
Oh,
it took him a concussion because you look at what was it 2 years ago where he was popping off like a mofo. Yeah. Look at that.
God.
Look at that start, right? And then he gets concussed, and he never captured that form ever again.
Unbelievable.
Even last
Hollywood
year.
Stuff.
You know
he hit his head and lost his memory. And then he hit his head again and came back.
Remember, Simba, who you are.
Yeah.
You are more than what you have become. Gets concussed.
Ridley, it's got to be one of those 6. Oh my God, man. The fixture's pretty not too bad fixture. Like West Coast, North, Richmond. For his role, it's a pretty friendly fixture. But even so, like, Oh my god, I mean, Freo actually isn't that friendly a fixture. The other
No.
four are pretty good. Freo are actually maybe the most restrictive team to defenders.
Only
I
won
feel like.
37. So
Oh
yeah,
jeez.
Ridley is up there. So Ridley's up there. Doherty's up there. I guess Luke Ryan has to be up there too.
Yeah, yeah, he's got to be up there. Luke Ryan. Maybe is Bailey Dale up there?
Yeah, Bailey Dale, 3-round average of 100, 5-round average of 109. So yeah, Bailey Dale's up there too.
Houston's got a pretty good 5-round average. Maybe Houston.
Yeah. So reckon those are your picks for the back line.
Probably it's the 5-round average ones, to be honest. That's probably the ones.
Yeah.
Probably that 5. Maybe I don't know.
Nazaya.
Maybe it's someone like I know Nasaya.
I started you for this reason, you bastard. This was what I was expecting.
Oh, far out, man. Unbelievable. Look at this. 116. Disgusting. He didn't even know that he got Supercoach points for kickouts and stuff. Yeah, now this,
And now he's just taking the P155. All right, for the midfield, I think everyone's got Errol. Ollie Wines, he's sub 500. That's pretty good. But
all right, I hate looking at this.
It's Nazaya.
This is hard. Nazaya again. What?
He's got the DPP that we knew he would have. Nothing really crazy. There's Keys still available.
Keys. I still think there's maybe a bit of risk with Keys, but it's one of those ones where it's maybe not a huge risk, but it's just like if he loses that somehow again, he's going to go back to he's got 79 average for the season. So
yeah, I know.
That's the risk, I guess, as he loses. I don't think he will though. I don't think he will. I think if you've got him, then well done.
Yeah. True.
But that's the risk with Keys, is he goes back to what he was doing earlier.
Yeah. There's Keys. Rowbottom got a lot of CBAs. I was looking at the Sydney lineup for CBAs, and Rowbottom is really up there the last few weeks. Obviously, that could change if Mills starts to get more. You'd expect him to probably go down Rowbottom in terms of CBAs. Crouch is pretty good, averaging 110 for the last 3. He's not leaving that midfield, Crouch. He's actually been really good for him.
Yeah, I hate him I hate the idea of picking Crouch though. That just feels so 520. Oh, it just feels so stinky to me. I don't know.
I know.
it's like picking. I don't know. It's just a bit of a burn man. I think Crouch. He's not had the best injury luck, unfortunately. So yeah,
there's Will Day if you want. Will Day. Defensive mid. So Cogs has dropped a lot if you don't have Cogs. But yeah.
I mean, Tom Green. Tom Green, you scroll right down. Tom Green's not too bad if that's your budget.
No, he's not too bad at all.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, it's about
Sam Walsh.
Oh, Sam Walsh. Did I say Sam Walsh? Yeah, Sam Walsh.
Yeah, Sam Walsh.
5'14". He's averaging 91, 3-round, 94, 5-round. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to drop down.
And I guess if you can hold him through a week, he might not be the worst. The goey might not be the worst when he's back. If you can hold him for 1 week, but I don't know. You have to work out you know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Find a way. I don't know. I hate picking mids in that price range because it just feels like a bit budgety.
Correct. For the forward line, I think Darcy Cameron has to be up there. Ben Keys again was someone who spoke about Goulden. I think everyone should have Goulden by now. Do you reckon Heaney's an option?
I don't know what the fixture looks like, but I mean, if you're in that budget, I mean, it's 480. That's not too bad a price.
I mean, 75 against
maybe,
the same.
But you're banking on him kind of hitting form because he's not been like last year, this year. So
Nah, I wouldn't go.
Taylor
I wouldn't.
Walker. Jeez.
Yeah.
Taylor Walker, far out. Oh, I'm waiting for the last round now. I want to have one trade left just for that. Just for the fun. I want to make
He's
sure
got
I
North
trade
this
left
week.
last round.
He's got North this week with a negative 47
I want
break
this
even.
guy. I trade Oliver to Taylor Walker. I want to get Taylor Walker the last round of the season just to captain him. Just straight, just no VC.
I mean, look at this. Look at these last 2 weeks, man.
My God.
And then you look at Duke, then you look at Gold Coast and Adelaide. Like,
actually, far out. That's a very Mo Salah kind of captain, Taylor Walker against West Coast. Mo Salah from the Discord. He captained Goulden this week, and he did one last week. So
Very
he's got back-to-back 160 plus captains. So
I should ask
he's a very high. He's a high upside kind of the way he plays for his captains. So
that's ridiculous.
That's fun. It's a fun way to play.
It is a fun way to play. All right, top 3 for forwards.
Keys,
we'll say Keys, Darcy Cameron, and Finn Layson's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Some ruck forward, DPP. 5-round average of about 90, 3-round average of 104. So he's been fairly good, apart from that Doggies game and then the Richmond game. But look at that. He had a stretch of over hundreds, couple of down weeks. Spike game, down week, good game. His run home isn't tough. Essendon, Gold Coast, Carlton. He plays at home. Geelong, who he scored 100 against. Giants at home. Freo, Richmond. His run's not too bad.
He's in a good team too. He's in a very good team. So that helps, I think. Because when you're not in a good team, you can have a game like, I don't know, you can have a game where your team you're more likely to have a game where your team gets smashed and you just score a 50 or something.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, it helps your floor. I feel like it helps your floor if you're in a good team.
Correct. Yeah, you would think so. All right, that's the 3 there. Jonas, Corey
Briggs is the only one you think about for the ruck line.
For the ruck line, 100%. It's Briggs or bust. No one else. Supercoach with DR. The dude can't go within punching distance of Peanut Laddams, or there will be no more Supercoach with DR.
Oh wow! I can't believe I read that out loud. I can hear Supercoach with DR saying that, like in my head, him going Peanut Laddams. I can hear his voice saying it.
Yeah.
Like I can't say. I say it in his voice when I say that in my head. You know.
Yeah. You know you've made it when you've got people reading in your voice. Jen, thinking of Mills or Day as my M8 instead of waiting a while for Took to come back for Humphrey. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know when Took is coming back for sure. Like, I think they said that he was aiming for the next 2-3 weeks for him to come back, but it's all crystal ball stuff. You know what I mean? So it's definitely better if you're capable of getting the premium now to finish your team. I just think it's worthwhile finishing your team now while you can.
I think Mills of those two, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theo, how's it going, mate? VC Dunks into Bond. Have a look at my finished team if you want. I'm 12K in rank. I'm pushing. Love this pod. Cheers, Theo. Dunks into Bond this week. Let's have a look at the fixture. Who's Dunkley play? Dunkley plays Richmond at the Gabba, so he can do really well.
Richmond at the Gabba?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, lock it in. Lock it in, Eddie.
Bontempelli has got Freo at Marvel, so it's possible. Not too bad.
I really like Dunkley's one. I really like that.
What about Lachie Neale, though? Lachie Neale at home at the Gabba. I mean, Lachie Neale is the true Lion King, whereas Dunkley,
I know.
He's a bulldog at heart. You know what I mean? He's played at Marvel too much compared to Lachie Neale.
Yeah. Nah, like I don't know. Dunkley's got the form line though. I like his form line more. But it's Lachie Neale is maybe higher upside if you want to risk it.
For a VC.
I think everyone will be exactly. But the also risk though, I guess, is that everyone, if you're playing rank, everyone will probably do Dunkley. over Neil because more people have Dunkley. So
True.
so it's a bit of that could work though. That's a good shout. I think either of those are really obvious to put in.
Captaincy option of Bontempelli coming off the bye. I don't know. I feel like a lot of teams are losing coming off the bye. I think every team has lost coming off the bye, except for if they played against another team that came off the bye themselves. So every non-bye team has won. No bye team has ended up beating a non-bye team so far. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
So you never know. It could be an upset where Freo get the dub over the Bulldogs if that stat continues, if that trend continues.
Maybe Dawson against. I just had a quick look. I actually got to head off pretty much now. But
Sure.
But I sorry, no warning. But I think Dawson.
Bye.
I think Dawson against North is a potentially a pretty good option.
That's what I'm doing.
Or Laird. I think Dawson. Every time it's a good Adelaide game, I feel like Dawson seems to have a higher ceiling though. So
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I kind of like. I don't know. I think Dawson's another one that you could go for.
I'm doing Neil into Dawson this week, personally.
Yeah. Or maybe Sinclair. If you're crazy, you go Sinclair against West Coast. Yeah.
Anyone against West Coast at this point.
45 touches and kicks 3 goals, just running around everywhere against traffic cones.
That's what they are. The West Coast traffic cones.
But I don't know. I think Dawson's a good shout. But I got to head off. It's been an absolute pleasure though. An honor to be on the channel again.
Mate, we love having you on. Love to see you on more often, mate. But thanks for coming on, man.
And I like thank you to the viewers as well. We love you.
Absolutely. Alrighty, bro. Okay. Have a good night.
Okay. Go Pies.
No, boo. Stuff the Pies. Stuff him. I hate the Pies. Love Magic. Absolute gun. Great friend of the channel. Libba under 3% own could be good. That's another reason why I really like Libba Cheese. Libba is ridiculous how good he is. I was so close to starting him at the start of the year. I really wish I did. Libba's a gun. Libba's an absolute gun. That's why we've rated him so highly on all these rankings. When people ask us, he's up there. Jules, Humphrey to Himmelberg in one trade, is it worth it? 100% it's worth it, bro. 100%. Yes, I will be looking at all the teams later. Can you check my team? Yes, I will check your team. Jen, Humphrey's next 2 games have big brief. Yeah, I know. If you can flip Humphrey to Himmelberg now, I'm all for it, Jen. 100%. Thoughts on Ben Hobbs for next year, mate? It depends a lot on if Darcy Parish stays or goes. If Darcy Parish goes, then we could end up seeing more midfield time for Hobbsy. I liked our midfield mix. Our midfield mix when Darcy Parish was not in the midfield, it just worked because the players in there were actually playing defensive, accountable, football as well. It's not just see ball, get ball. It was also they were tackling, they were playing defensive pressure, and our midfield looked better these last few weeks without Parish, with Hobbs in there more, with Perkins in there more. So I honestly reckon Hobbs could be a fair shout, but we'll have to see what the role is, because if we look at Hobbs's CBAs, he had 43% last week, 34%, 55% the week before that. So he's had some inconsistency with his CBAs. But this week, with Darcy Parish back in the side, he had 26%, which is his lowest since round 9 when he had no CBAs. So, that's 6 weeks ago. So, yeah. Darcy Parish plays a major role in whether or not Hobbs is any good. Anthony, Dawson, Taranto, Dunkley, Rosie Butters, all in the mids. That's mad. They cost at 31. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. We're going to have everyone's going to be just pure mid and it's gonna be scraping bottom of the barrel for the forward line and the back line. It's gonna be really crazy next year. Stay tuned, man. We're gonna be doing a lot of research in the off season, that's for sure. Give me a good laugh. Thanks, boys. Yes, you're very welcome. Thanks about 400 ranks with optimal team for the run home. Sacrifice short-term pain for long-term gain. I like it, Anthony. Locking Neil in Dawson or Bont, not sure. Yeah, I'm doing Neil into Dawson personally. But having said that, Causa, Bont went 182 against Freo last time this year. It's giving us things to think about here. Neil and Dunkley averaging 117. So yeah, looks like it's whichever way you go will be good. Jonas, Dawson VC, Petrarca C. You reckon Petrarca will go bananas against the Giants? It's possible. It's possible. Not against that, actually. Mills has a high break even this week, so probably get him next week. Fair enough. Yeah, well, the guy's saying by the Magic. Surely Melbourne are used to 10-day breaks more than the bye. June 2nd, June 12th, June 22, July 2nd. Yeah, that's actually a really interesting observation, Jonas. I did not see that. Bizarre. All right. Melbourne should be used to it. CBA percentage for Hobbs. Yeah, I think I actually went through them. He's averaging 29%, and he had 26% last week. So bit down on his average. But yeah, I can't trust Hobbs. We've got so many people going through there. Got Caldwell going through there. Stringer can go through there. Shield, when he comes back, will go through there. Setters, when he comes back, will go through there. Merritt and Parrish. So, nah, man, there's too many people, Jono, for Hobbsy to get ahead of. I think he's just going to be one of a cog in the machine that will be our midfield. We've got too many people going through there. I want to go. Already have Himmelberg, so I'm going Humphrey to Mills next week. Yep, that's fine. We'll leave 2 trades up for injury sensitive. Yep, that will be the exact same situation as me, Jen. I don't recommend going below 2 trades. There's still so much footy to come. There's so much footy. Just because you finish your team now does not mean that the game is over. The game is far from over. There's still another, entering round 16, and there's 24 weeks. You know what I mean? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 weeks of football to come. That's ridiculous. Hobbs nowhere near a contested player and clearance player yet. Yeah, he's certainly building, Rodney. He's certainly building. He's going to be a gun. Of that, there's no doubt. And there will come a time where he is in that midfield mix a lot more. Just not yet. Jono, Billings forward option next year. Would love to see him stick around with us. Well, I don't know if he is going to stick around with you guys, man. Wasn't there reports that what's their face? Carlton are really into him. So yeah, I don't know. He hasn't played this year, right? Billings still hasn't played. Still yet to play. Jack Billings. Yeah, he's still yet to play. That's ridiculous. So he's a midfielder, though, Jack Billings. He has to play to get forward status, mate. Fingers crossed. Oh, Gresham to Carlton. Sorry, I thought it was Billings. Look, Billings right now is in as a midfielder, pure midfielder only. He doesn't have forward status as of yet, but he has to play games to get forward status. Yeah, all right. So looking at this week, yeah, I'd say either Neil or Dunkley, great VC options. Taranto could be a good VC option. Wouldn't go anyone from Sydney against Geelong. Maybe Stewart could be good. SCG is a smaller ground, so Stewart could have a good game this week. And the Sydney Swans forward line isn't the best. Stewart's an option. Dawson and Laird obviously are both options. I think Dawson has more upside, though, compared to a Dawson, as we discussed with Magic. Bond obviously is an option against Freo. But Sean Darcy is going to kill English, I feel, though. So yeah, I don't know. Gold Coast v Collingwood over there. Wouldn't go anyone there. Dacos could be okay, but the dewy, slippery conditions of Gold Coast, it's a twilight game. I probably wouldn't go Dacos against Gold Coast. Essendon versus Port at the MCG. I reckon we're gonna have a fire. I reckon Brad's gonna have an absolute rocket up our players this week, and they're gonna probably lift to make amends for the disappointing performance last week. Plus Port coming off the bye, the bye curse. I'm gonna back my boys to cause an upset here against Port Adelaide next week to end that winning streak at the MCG. I'm calling it here. The boys are gonna get up. Maybe I'm just an Essendon Nuffy. Hawthorn v Carlton. No one really there. Melbourne, yeah, Petrarca's obviously an option. And then anyone from St Kilda against West Coast. So it could be Sinclair, but I wouldn't go there. No way I'd go that way. I'd go there. Corey, North into Billings as best friends with Luke McDonald. Interesting. John reckons Billings will come back in the next few weeks. Well, he better play a lot of forward very soon because round 18 is when the next, TPP comes in. So for this year, so you better hope that he plays a lot of forward at the back half of this year to get forward status for next year. Jonas' team is finished. 2 trades left only. 2 trades left only cover is Mitchell and Chincotta and the Cesanero. Yeah, but that does not count as cover. Cesanero is not cover. Mitchell is, yes, and Chincotta is, I reckon. Yeah, I'm finished too with 2 trades left. My cover is Seamus Mitchell in the back line. I've got Humphrey and Johnson in the midfield, and I've got Eddie Ford in the forward line. Jen thinking Dunkley or Dawson into Dacos. Yeah, look, I mean, you can do that. I just don't think the conditions suit Dacos playing in the dewy, slippery conditions, and he's someone who relies a lot on disposal efficiency as well. So it's very easy to get clangers playing up in Queensland. It's very easy to get clangers, and for someone who like him is a great ball user, it's tough. It's difficult. I like Dunkley and I like Dawson, and I like Neil too. There's a bunch of different options this week. Really, there are, and I just feel like there's going to be a lot of polarizing results. There's going to be people who absolutely fly, and there will be others that are going to get shafted. I can feel it right here, right now. Dawson into track is good for Jono. Yeah, Dawson into track is very good. Looking at pressing on Petrarca now, GWS are ranked 6th for restricting scores against mids. So that's pretty good. The top 6 for restricting scores against mids. So that's pretty good. I definitely love Dawson. I've actually got Dawson as my captain this week, and I've got Lockie Neal as my vice captain, as you guys, as I've said. Ben VC Dunks into C Bond. Yeah, C Bond. Bond is Bond. I mean, if we look at Bond and Belly, he hasn't had a sub 120 score since round 12. We went 113 at Marvel. So, he has built the last couple of weeks. 125, 169. Yeah, Bontempelli is an option. Yeah, for sure is an option. I need to fix my 7 defender, Cam Suvalaki. Sure. All right. I guess we'll get to the teams section now, where we look at your teams. All right. So let's present, share screen, share. Okay, so we're looking up for Cam Suvalaki, Dacos, Stewart, Dawson, Sinclair Day, Shazel Sard. So Taranto comes on, one of these dudes. So you got Briggs at R3. Do you want to keep Briggs, Corey? Cause you want to keep Briggs? Otherwise, you can trade him out, send Madden into the ruck, and bring Sheasel into your forward line. Could do that. And then you're keeping Briggs, trading Marshall. Okay. So, coin in the bank, ask Jono. Okay, so you want to keep Briggs, you want to trade Marshall. Okay, so if we trade out Marshall, again, you can swing Madden into the ruck and bring Sheasel into your forward line. Okay. You'll still be fielding. Okay, that'll be fine. Yep. And then you still got. And Saad comes on for Constable. And that's it. Isn't that it? That way you send Sheasel into your forward line. You just trade out Marshall, swing Mick Madden into your ruck at R3, and then bring Sheasel into your forward line. And then Saad just comes on for Constable. And there you go. You'd have him out of your back line. Problem solved. Great success. Take cost 143. Wait, what's this? No, I have Golden or Dunkley in mids. Okay. I mean, you can still swap them with Fife. You can swap them with Fife. How many trades have you got left? But have Harrison and Marriage is my problem. Well, how many premiums will you have on field? If Taranto comes on for Marriage, and then Sheasel comes on for Harrison, that's basically a full premium forward line if you count Fife as a premium. Then you can swap Fife with Goulden. Walsh comes on for Sheldrick. Oh, you'll still need a premium for Bailey Humphrey's spot. Who don't you have in there? You have Laird, Bont, Merritt, Brayshaw, Goulden. How did you do this, Causa? Look, you can still, I don't know. There is a way for you to fix this, and there's no doubt about it. Walsh comes on for Sheldrick. You still have to do something with Humphrey. Goulden and Dunkley are in your mids. Where's Dunkley? Dunkley's in your forward line. Why are you saying Dunkley's in your mids? You've only got Goulden, who's a forward, in your mids. So you can swap him with Fife. Taranto comes on for Marriage, and if you do that trade by swinging Sheasel forward, then Sheasel comes on for Harvey Harrison. So this is Goulden, Taranto, and Sheasel. So that's a full premium forward line, and then you'd have Fife here, and you still have two more. Oh, then you have Walsh there. You'll still have to do one more upgrade, and Humphrey. You could, if you wanted to trade Humphrey out, trading Humphrey and Marshall, but have to play Fife this week, though, is the problem. It's fine. If it's just for 1 week, Causa, it's not a problem. You can field them for 1 week, and you can finish your team next week. It's not the end of the world if you finish your team next week. You know what I mean? Fife this week is playing against the Dogs who are coming off the bye. And as we've seen, every team that is playing off the bye has lost, essentially. So I think you can afford to hold him 1 more week. I think that should be okay. Max Bing is, for your point of view, how bad do you think English will kill you? I think English is R1. English is R1, and not having English is gonna suck. If this was English and not Marshall, I'd be living life at the moment, but it's not. So he's gonna hurt. He's gonna hurt Max, but it is what it is. Can't do much about it. Have to get Mullen in to get Sheasel on the field is the problem. I reckon you should just trade out. If you're planning on trading out Marshall, then trade him out. Field Briggs, bring Madden forward, and then I reckon you can bring Sheasel into the forward line. I still think that is an option for you, and you'll have a full finished forward line, and you'll still have, and then obviously Sard comes on for Constable, so that's fine, and then you've got money. You've got the money to trade out. Humphrey's got a lot of money on him as your final upgrade in the midfield. You can still hold on to Fife as cover for now. It's obviously not ideal, but that's the way you've structured your team, mate. That's part of the problem. All right, let's have a look at team. Hot pies. Yes, Jen. We will look at the hot pies. Hot pies. They be hot. There she is. Jennifer. Looking at hot pies. Dacos, Dawson, Sinclair, still got Zeeble, Sheasel, and Melican. Yeah, that's poor kid, poor guy Melican, the Pelican. He was probably playing noughts and crosses with Marich in that Eagles forward line. The poor hardly ever got there. Probably chilling, chillaxing, sunbaking. No, but was playing in the evening, so they couldn't even get a tan. Poor, just having some fun together. Never seen the ball. So yeah, Himmelberg comes on for Melican. Yep, that's fine. Bont, Oliver, Track, Neil, Brayshaw, Green. Oh, you still need 2 more mids, Jen, which we discussed. Would it be Mills and someone that you can get by trading out Humphrey and Sharp, perhaps. DC comes into the forward line where you have like McAndrew, and then Rosie and Cornelio come on there. Yep. Great team. Great team. Love it, Jen. And I know you've also brought Wines in this week. So it could be Wines and Mills are your final 2 spots there. And then that's it. You're full primo. You're done. You're done, Zo Hot Pies. You're on. You're well done. Good stuff, Jen. Can you look at my team in a real pickle? Not going to lie. Team name is Human. Wow, the Human Meatball is in a real pickle. Mate, you're getting me hungry at 9:08 tonight. Jeez. Human. Max. Yes, Max. Max is Max. Alrighty. Overall rank 2250. Come on, you can't be in a pickle if your overall rank is 2250. Just calm it down, as our good friend the squad father says. All right, so you got Dacos, Stewart, Dawson, Day. Ooh, Elliot, yo. Sick dog. He's holding on to Sicily, and you got Sard. All right, so you got a 4 premium backline. Dunkley, Laird, Merritt, Neal, Brayshaw, Goulden will probably be best in the forward line. All right, Bond comes on for Johnson, and Green comes on for Sharp. English, Marshall, Taranto, Rosie, Cogs, Cameron, Himmelberg comes here. All right, that will be Goulden. Sure. So you've still just got to do... Yeah, you're fielding Fife. Fife is your last. So you're full primo, sort of. I personally don't consider Fife a premium. Do I trade Sicily to Butters and Mitchell's to Hawkins? That's an interesting shout. Now, you've already or sick to Track now. I like Sicily to Track. I love Petrarca. And then Mitchell to Hawkins next week. Yeah, I'm not against that because Mitchell will continue to score well, I think, as long as Sicily is out. I think he's looking really good in the back line. And then when Sicily returns, obviously Seamus Mitchell's scoring will decrease again. But for now, I think it's perfectly fine with the way that the Hawks are set up. Seamus Mitchell is doing really well. The meatball is injured again. Wash hands. Yeah, I know. He's always injured, bro. He's always injured. Poor guy. All right. Yes, I dream. Here. Go. Theo, you started this all off, Theo. We're going to end with your team. Dacos, Stewart, Ryan, Lloyd, the red man. He let you down big time. He let me down too as an Essendon supporter. You still need a defender, Primo. Petrarca, Merritt, Neal, Brayshaw, Dawson, Anderson. Oh, wait. There he is. Dawson. So Dawson comes back for Chincotta. All right. So you do have a full premium. Okay. So we got... So this is Chincotta. Mason Wood. Bontempelli. All right. You need mid primos. Because this would be Chincotta. And if you put... All right. So this is Bontempelli here. Mason Wood is not a premium, Theo. He's not. As much as we love him, you might love him, he's not a primo. Uncle Toronto called it Cameron. Sheasel's there. Yeah, great forward line. Great ruck line. How many trades you got left, Theo? Mason Wood is not a premium. You can one down, one up. Someone. Maybe it's a forward. You can get rid of Chincotta or Cowan and then upgrade Mason Wood to someone. Mason Wood is not a primo. If you can get Mason Wood to become... wait, you don't have Laird? Don't have Laird. If you can somehow get Mason Wood to become Rory Laird, then it will be beast, Theo. Get Mason Wood to become Rory Laird. That is your mission, sir, if you decide to choose it. And then you will be beast. Do I feel Mitchell over Fife? I think so. I think you do. And that, ladies and gentlemen... Oh, wait. I missed something here. Why didn't Melbourne do a Geelong and just list Oliver as a snort-term injury? I reckon they should have done a Richmond and said personal reasons. That would have been better, I think. And would have we all would have understood why. But yes, guys, that will bring us to a close. 9:13 p.m. Nice 1 hour 43 stream. So thank you so much, guys, for coming in and watching with us. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a like, please, in the stream. It would be great. I don't see any likes currently. So please leave us a like and a sub if you haven't already. Would greatly appreciate it. We're obviously coming towards the end of the Supercoach season. Obviously, we'll continue to give updates and still have these questions where we're answering your questions, guys. You know what I mean? So we're still going to obviously stick around, but the content will slowly but surely start to become more footy related, as most of us are now basically full premium now. So, but thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this journey. It has certainly been an absolute fun one. Thank you, Jono, for coming and being a regular. Kev, thank you as well. Jonas, mate, love you to bits. You guys are absolutely, the heart and soul, and the reason why we love to do this content. Why we push Big J to do more, more streams to get you guys on to have that interaction with us. A lot of content creators were just doing videos. We started the whole streaming thing. So thank you so much, guys, for sticking around. We look forward to seeing you on the flip side. My team review will be coming up soon, and also perhaps a little cameo from an older female. I will just leave it at that. So thank you guys so much for coming on. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.